Good evening, everyone, or good morning, wherever you're listening this from. Welcome to the new Weebs in podcast, episode 3, season 2, because it's 2021. So, my guest here with me today. Oh yeah, you guys hear me? My guest with me today, I have Terry and Richard. So say hello, guys.
Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey,
Okay, before we're still doing our introductions here. So, I asked these guys to come into the podcast because we want to talk about Comiket, but I want to introduce you to them first, everyone. So, let's go with you, Richard. Tell me the origin of your avatar that you decided to pick for me.
so I used to be part of an animation forums, and well, for one of my birthdays, my friend, he was a sprite artist. He was kind enough to sprite this avatar for me.
That's the origin of your one. Okay. How about you, Terry? What's your origin story?
I don't know. I just just looking at images for Kantai, and then stumbled across this one really. And it's sort of, I guess, or for this one, Sendai, it's kind of my favorite from the series, so I just chose that essentially.
Were you guys all intimidated or nervous when I asked you guys to pick what avatar?
Not really. It's just a matter of finding something.
Yeah, that's or finding something good is really the tricky thing, isn't it?
Don't worry, you guys aren't the first one. I've asked this for all my guests to send me something. This is always the first question they get, now.
Right.
I never tell you guys. I never brief you on this, guys. Cause I just decided straight ask you straight up.
Where did you get your image, Joey?
I got my image from ScreamPuffArt, who drew me, and I rigged it myself. So shout out to ScreamPuffArt for rigging up my character or drawing my character. There's a quick plug for her.
No worries.
So yeah, those who just joined the podcast, you know, to the title is that we are talking about the Comiket Experience, which was a year ago. We went a year ago, right? I think everyone here went a year ago.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
and of course, due to C19, that we don't have any Comikets last year, or who knows when the next Comiket is. Do you reckon there'll be a Comiket soon, this year?
Not for a while.
Yeah, I mean, given, I mean, from my understanding, Japan's situation is, I mean, I wouldn't say it's worse than us, but it's, they're still able to do a lot of things though, from my understanding.
Yeah, because I was going through some conventions stuff. It looks like some around the world convention news. It looks like some conventions actually did still run or are still running, which is I find odd. Recently I just saw there was a Genshin Impact convention. I was like, what the hell? And it was a lot of people there. I saw photos of it and I was like, oh, what the hell? Yeah.
Interesting.
You guys miss conventions though?
Yeah. I guess I do.
That's all you can say?
I mean, just getting around to see things physically is a downside, I guess.
I mean, it's also a reason to meet up with your friends that you don't get to always meet up with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah. So okay, let's go into our first topic about Comiket, because we all have experienced this before. But actually, first before I ask this first question, but was this everyone's first time? Because I know it was my first time in Comiket. Terry?
Yeah, it was my first Comiket time. C97, I believe.
Yeah, it was Comiket 97 that we went to.
Yeah, it was my first one.
Yeah, and Richard, was that your first Comiket?
It was not. I went back in at the end of 2016.
Okay.
So it would have been, I think it's C93.
Oh, this is interesting take, because we got someone that's we got two first timers, and we got someone who's been there at least once before, multiple times. Yeah. Even though it was our first Comiket, me and Terry, we went all 4 days. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we went for all 4 days.
Oh, 4 days. Did you go all 4 days, Richard?
Yeah, I did.
How about the first time around?
We talking my experience in 2016?
Yeah, with the first 2016. Was that
yeah, I went all 3 days. There was only 3 days back then.
Oh, okay.
I think 2019 was the introduction of 4 days. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but
Oh, okay.
I do know it was also the year that they introduced admission.
Oh yeah,
Or like the armbands.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that we were surprised about. Well, I was surprised about that. Comiket was done doing armbands or something, because I remember it was like every time I heard about it, it was just like you just walk in for free.
Yeah, no, it was just like show up and then you get to enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
You pay.
Although I feel like they didn't really like check the armbands too seriously on the first 2 days. It was only on day 3 and 4 which they really like started properly checking it. But other than that, yeah.
Really? I don't know. I felt like they never really checked it at all. It's like you just raise your arm up. It's like, oh, there's an arm raise. Unless I missed something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. But like the other 2 days, they didn't really check the armbands like by raising your arms. From my experience, from memory.
Okay. Let's get into like the first topic. Okay. Okay. What was like your expectations for like going into like Comiket or stuff like that? Like, let's start with you, Terry.
To be honest, I didn't really have much because when I was going there, Comiket wasn't like the main purpose of the trip wasn't really to go just to Comiket. So I guess my expectations wasn't really. I like not saying that it was high doesn't mean like I didn't value it, but like I just didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. Again, given it's the first time. So yeah, like I would say I didn't really have any expectations because I didn't know what to expect. I would say.
Okay, so you had like sort of like you didn't know what to expect, or like you had low expectations or something.
Yeah, I would say low expectations, but that's not in the negative term.
That sense.
Yeah.
Like my expectations, because I went along with you, was that I thought it was like going to be like this, because it was my first time in a Japanese convention, so I had no idea what I was expecting. But I also kind of expected to be like super hectic and like colorful. Is that the best way to do it? That's like I like all the stuff you see in anime. When you see like conventions like the Comiket in anime, just like, oh, there's a lot of people, and there's like so much people chilling and just talking to each other, and that not really was that like I kind of felt that, but that was the expectation I was going in, and I got a completely kind of different experience, even though I went kind of prepared and all that, and like that's what I kind of expected from going into Comiket, like a convention, but like super packed. That's it. Like another convention, another convention you can go to with like say like friends and hang out with, like any other convention, but I just expected it to be like super packed. But I only got like the one half of it, which was just packed. Forget the chilling part. I got packed.
Yeah, there actually was no time to actually chill, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's first time, so like.
No, yeah, it's first time. Yeah.
Too much to do, I guess.
How about you, Richard? How's your expectations in going to Comiket? I guess like you can go with as two parts for this question, like your first time and then like guess up to 97.
Yeah. I think it was interesting because I don't really have any sort of set expectations outside of like what I'm used to. For example, like conventions in Australia are a little more, how do I say it? Having the panels or, you know, guests and a lot of other variety of sort of things. Like participation, essentially.
Yeah.
And, well, it was pretty interesting to see the change in like the Japanese sort of convention where it's just stalls everywhere. There's stalls commercial, like for the commercial groups, as well as just stalls for all the artists out there, and that was a bit of a shift from what I was expecting, considering the Western ones.
Basically, it was just a big artist alley.
yeah, pretty much.
They're like the biggest artist alley in the world.
Yeah, as well as the fact that most, if not all, of their products are pretty much just books or maybe like handcrafted stuff. I think some of them aren't even specifically selling, but like to just put info out there.
Oh yeah.
They'll sell themselves
Like-
as a like artist. Because I saw one group that was like, how do I say it? They had a custom figure made with like a background and everything. It lit up and like a really nice logo and everything.
But they weren't
I'm
selling
sure they
it.
weren't selling it.
So it was just like
I
displaying it.
mean, yeah, it was for display. So I'm like, well, what's the purpose of this? I'm curious. I couldn't approach them because it was back then when I couldn't speak any Japanese.
Oh,
or
so this was the
just
first
very
time you
little.
went.
Yeah, the first time I went.
Okay.
I saw like a Gilgamesh ring from Fate Grand Order, as well as like pillows or alarm clocks. Those are pretty interesting.
Wait, speaking of interesting stuff, man, Terry, you brought some interesting games.
Oh, I mean,
You wanna
like,
tell us about
I literally bought the game because, like, you know, just try it out. Plus, like, I guess, I mean, yeah, just to try out like different games or fan-made games per se. Which, I mean, they're made actually pretty well.
How did it play?
But,
Like,
yeah.
what did it look like? Like when you actually played it?
I mean, like, I got what was advertised to me, I would say.
Oh, what kind of game was it? Was it like a how would I say it? Side scroller or like a RPG?
It was a. I mean, the
Visual novel?
basis of the game looks like it was made through RPG Maker.
Okay.
Yeah. So from what and like the gameplay really is just a dungeon crawling RPG, really. But yeah, other than that, like, because yeah, they've got a lot of different stuff there per se. But for me, it was just really, I guess, books, and then just browsing the rest of the floors, I guess.
Yeah. Like
coming into it.
Yeah. That was like kind of like my goal as well. Like, well, my goal was like in going to Comiket was just buy as like much like books, dojins as I can. Yeah, basically just buy as much dojins like I want to, and like photo books, and like it's just like that's like the typical stuff like you think of Comiket because it's a comic market. So you just go in to buy as much like fan-made books. Also like went to see a lot of cosplays as well. Like, but that's like any other convention. But I think this one here was like basically going into like it's like every time I go to a convention like in Australia, it's most of the time I don't go for the artist alley. Like the artist alley is like an afterthought for me. But like if I'm going to Comiket, I think like the first priority is the artist alley for me. Then like the corporate stuff.
The only thing available.
Yeah, like they do have the corporate stuff, which is still pretty nice. Like the stuff,
Yeah.
I did, like the stuff that I bought at the corporate stuff was like that I lined up was pretty nice to say. Like it was something I wanted, and I'm still wearing some of them today. Like most of like the apparel that I'm still wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I guess with the corporate stuff, that's like all official stuff, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it's always nice to like have the official.
Yeah.
I guess whatever.
Make sure you don't get like
merchandising. I said.
make sure there's like no dodgy merchandise. Basically, it's like a safe bet.
But it's overpriced as f.
Yeah, it is overpriced from what I remember seeing.
It definitely was.
It
It definitely was overpriced.
It's like I don't know. I think I remember seeing like I think a Love Life pin for like it was like one of your like normal like pin badges for like 2k yen or something like that. I'm like
So
that's
about
not,
like $20 Australian.
that 25 AUD just for a pin. So I'm like no, I'm good.
Yeah, like that's why when I kind of bought stuff at like the corporate stuff, I made sure like I got like something that was like I'm gonna use like often, which is why I always got like I wish at most time I only got was like apparels like a t-shirt or like a jumper, which I use like on a daily basis now. So I pretty much like use this worth. I don't think I got like what is it like anything that was super cheap. I guess a small tiny Nesso, which was probably a bit more expensive than I thought of. That was it. Like, is Nessos usually $45 or 4,500 yen?
It depends on the size.
No, it was a small size, like almost think key range, key ring size almost. Not key ring size, but like the mini, very mini ones.
Yeah. That is not worth 45.
Yeah, I think that's how much I bought it for. Yeah.
That's.
And I bought 2 of them. Yeah, that was like the only thing I think from corporate. I probably, actually, maybe I don't regret it, but like it's like I know it's like, oh, this is definitely a lot more expensive than you thought.
Mm.
Yeah, but everything else was, I say, it was pretty much everything I bought was basically just shirts and stuff. So it was to me it was worth it in the end because you wear that shirt half the time and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, for me, my
Oh, can you tell us about your story, please? You want to tell us about your story? Oh wait, no. Or we should save this for Comiket Experience.
Yeah, we can. Well, unless we can transition to it.
Well, actually,
right?
we can transition now. Yeah, sure.
Because oh god, that was such a nightmare to get. So
Have you heard this story, Richard?
I have not.
Like Terry's like Comiket story.
Yeah, so as you may or may not know, huge advocate of Kanko there.
Yeah.
They were selling I can send you a photo later, but they're selling a really nice. It's not even a war scroll. It's like a war carpet, but like it was essentially a 2020 limited edition printing.
Mm-hmm. You sure it wasn't a calendar?
I mean, the calendar. To be fair, that was my misunderstanding. I got the calendar in then, but it was, I'll just call it a war scroll because I actually don't know what the name for
Tapestry?
it is.
Is that the?
No, it's not tapestry. It's not tapestry.
Okay.
Because it's not even a scroll, but yeah, whatever.
It's called blinds.
Regardless, limited edition 2020 edition. Try to go. Because during the first day, it was just mainly just exploring the buildings, just getting a feel for the layout. So when I saw it up there, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's try and get the merch the next day. So day 2, lined up at around I'd say 9 a.m. or so.
Yeah, we lined up pretty early. I remember that.
Yeah. Or tried to line up 9 a.m. to get it. As soon as we hit the line for the booth, the staff are like, it's all sold out. Okay, cool, whatever. Guess I have to time it even earlier then.
Day 3 time.
Time it even earlier then. I guess, and then I just spent the rest of the day going through other circles. And just roaming the buildings and what have you.
Yeah.
The third day...
I think you made me the third day go on early.
No.
Second day you made me go early.
Yeah, it was the second day.
Okay.
Which, I got Joey, thanks for helping out, just to line up to see.
I lined up for nothing, sorry.
Yeah, essentially. Third day, pretty much caught the first train in, and got to the con at around 5 a.m. or so? 5, 6 a.m.-ish. Waited out in the cold for 4 hours because it opens at 8 or so. I don't remember the exact times, but pretty much lined up at first train coming in. Got up to the booth line. About, I would say, 5 people in front of me. As I was lining up, they just announced that it's all sold out again. I'm like, well, goddamn.
Oh, lucky.
Goddamn. And at that time, I was kind of feeling fed up with it, so I just decided to leave. Fast forward, I guess, to day 4. Woke up a bit late, so couldn't get it again.
That was the day I woke up early.
Yeah. And then it was pretty much all sold out again. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not getting this thing. A couple hours later on Twitter, get notification that we're gonna be selling it at Narita Airport at on New Year's. I'm like, well, shit. So pretty much New Year's Eve rocks up. Go to what was the shrine called again?
I don't remember the shrine. What was the shrine called? But it was the Love Life Shrine. We just call it.
Yeah, essentially the Love Life Shrine. Went there for New Year's. As soon as we did the traditional stuff there, like the shrine visit, the fortunes and what have you, it was about 1 a.m. when I left, just to go all the way to Narita Airport. But because it was New Year's, they didn't have any, direct trains going through, so I had to catch the non-stop trains all the way to Narita. But it didn't go to Narita Airport, so then I had to take a taxi from Narita to Narita Airport. And then I had to wait another 4 hours just to wait for the store to open, which then I finally got the merch. But yeah,
It wasn't what you expecting.
it was a lot of effort for something that's so not worth it. But yeah,
it really sounds like it.
we got there in the end, and also I feel, and it's a lot of sidetracking that I feel like I've just done just then. Moving away from that, but like, yeah, I feel like with Comiket, like, if you want anything, you have to like pretty much, not even first train, like camp overnight.
And you can't even camp overnight because they don't allow you.
No, they don't allow you. That's why because I was talking to a couple of, I guess, online mates as well, and what they did was they just camped on the grounds nearby, like not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like they camped on the grounds nearby, wait a couple, like, I guess when it's appropriate to then move across to the actual, I guess, gathering area, and then they sort of sit there. Yeah.
So like your first train doesn't really get you there.
Yeah, like if you want anything like super exclusive, like you're better off camping overnight rather than taking first train.
Yeah. Well, unless that first train is like close to the venue, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, if it's close to the venue, then yeah. But either way, I think like if you want to guarantee yourself something, you have to actually camp it out.
I was gonna say, like, honestly, first train is just not. Yeah, like if you really want something, first train's not feasible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially if you gotta take the 2 trains.
Because because the transfer.
Yeah.
And then you have to line up for the next train again.
Wait, did you take a first train, Richard?
So, in my first year, the 2016, when I went on the 3rd day, I took the first train, and I thought that was early. Yeah, it was not early enough, that's for sure.
Was it crowded? Like super crowded?
Yeah, it was pretty crowded already. Like, it wasn't as bad as 2019.
Okay.
Because something I neglected to mention prior was like in 2016 the whole Tokyo Big Sight was open, whereas in 2019 they had one wing under renovation.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they normally would have had the commercial wing in
the building on site, right?
Yeah, in the building instead of in a separate building like one train station away.
Oh yeah.
So that was really different because when you line up early, they'd split you into 2 areas depending on which wing you wanted to enter, and therefore it would help immensely in trying to get what you really wanted. That end, I'm pretty sure not popularity, but the population of venue goers, convention goers, increases every year. So in 2016 there were less people. Well, I'm sure there was still a lot, but it doesn't help that 3 years later it's probably even bigger now.
Yeah, that's probably going to be always going to be the case with like most conventions, especially with a name like Comiket.
Yeah, especially Comiket.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, for day 2 of 2019, the winter 2019, I took the first train out. That got us pretty like early on in the line, not as early as I thought it would have been compared to like the previous year. That's one. And day 3 and 4. So I want to preface the story as I went with my friend Min.
Yep.
And he and I we cracked a joke on the second day. It's like, what if we walked it? And it's like, I guess we could do that.
Walk from your hotel to the grounds, is it?
Yeah, from our Airbnb. So we searched up the location of our Airbnb to Tokyo Big Sight, and it was like, it's 2 hours. That seems doable. So day 3 and 4, we actually walked it.
Did that make any difference?
Oh yeah, it was huge because there's no trains until like literally 5 a.m. right?
Yeah.
So I think the first time we left around like 3 a.m. and this is from like Kinshicho, which is like the right of Akihabara.
Okay.
Sumidaku. Yeah. Basically, you walk 2 hours, get there around 5, so that's like first train starting time. And yeah, I was like, oh, surely we're like basically at the start of the line. No, we're not even. There's already a whole like another block in front of us.
Oh, wow.
If there's like there's like 3 blocks, right? So the first block is right in front of the staircase upwards leading to Tokyo Big Sight,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another block which is like near the convenience store,
Okay, yeah.
and then there's another block further down, and then we don't even talk about the blocks past that. But yeah, so we got there at 5 a.m. I was like, surely we're here early. No, we're still in the second block. And I'm like, what the? So day 4, we committed to leaving at 2 a.m. and getting there at 4 a.m. And that time we actually ended up right in the first block. There's like 3 sections,
Oh yeah.
and we were like, I think in the like from left to right, we were in the 3rd section, which is pretty good, but still not what we were hoping for. It was like, damn,
We guys
man,
like
people are crazy.
Were you guys like aiming for like the first block or so, like not like first line, front line, something?
Not front of the line, but like somewhere close. But
Yeah.
I guess first block is still pretty good.
First block is really good because like the section pretty much moves in blocks anyway, so you're pretty much the
Yeah,
first line there.
exactly.
You just
Oh, it moves in the section, so like 1, 2, and then 3.
oh,
yeah,
okay,
so
yeah.
it's still pretty good regardless.
Yeah.
But damn, we had to wait a long time
No,
before they opened up.
Never skip leg day.
It wasn't the leg day issue. It was more like just sitting there and we're just tired for like 7 hours, and then
so you're saying the walk was fine? It was just basically sitting there.
yeah. Oh, I mean, okay, actually, my feet were destroyed by the last day walking and leaving and during the day, so that wasn't good. But it was the waiting period from like 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, if you're right against one of those like gardening blocks where it's like a bit of a like wall you can like lean on,
Sit down.
so nice.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you're in the middle, you're so screwed. It's so
Sweaty.
no, it's not sweaty. It's just like you can't like lean back on anywhere. You can't lay down. It's freezing cold.
You're trapped.
It's not as bad as in 2016 when you line up for the artist block, like the artist wing, and that was right next to. It was basically the dock area where it's just water past there, so it's like freezing cold.
Oh,
But
wow.
luckily, it's in the center where you're entering, which isn't nearly as bad because it's just a bit of wind, not heavy winds.
So it was like my lining up experience was like, let's see, first day because we went there just to check it out. I think me and Terry got there around like.
Yeah, we skipped a lot of the lines.
Because I think we got there like because we left around 10 o'clock. I think we got there around 12 o'clock. And by the time it was like I think it was like 12 o'clock, it was just pretty much smooth like sailing. Like no more lines to get in. It was just like you just walk in. By like around 12 o'clock. So despite the conventions like opening up at 10 o'clock, I think by 11 o'clock or so, like it gets pretty smooth, like walking wise.
Agreed.
Going like because I think going by my averagely like whenever time, because we always try to go there before the event comes up. I'll always get there like go in just before 11 o'clock sometime. So yeah, and like I noticed by the time after 11 o'clock, it will be like kind of smooth sailing. You can just walk anywhere from there. Yeah. So that was like first day, just getting in smoothly. I think second day, because Terry made me like line up for his merch
pick up the
in the
stuff.
other like line, because like you said, how this time you had to basically go line for 2 different things, like the corporate booth and there's like the big site. So
Yeah.
I had to like go up all the way to the bridge to line up for the corporate booth. I think it was the bridge. I think that's where my line started. So I was actually in a decent spot in the line, because like the bridge is pretty close, I'd say, to the corporate booth when like around there. But it was like at the start of bridge, so it wasn't close enough. So yeah, sorry, Terry, could not get you your thing there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like the first day of lining up. and then because I wasn't doing anything like on the second day, like personally to like line up for Artist Alley. Whereas the third day was the Artist Alley day for me, because that was the day I lined up for my calendar. Like, so like I went like after doing all the research on Twitter and stuff like that. It's like, oh, let me line up for this person. He seems he or she seems like popular, and I'm glad I did line up for it because he was popular, and I managed to get myself in one of the calendars because I was like, I think that was like the last 20 person to get it. It's like the whole it was like a set as well. It's like a New Year set. And
that's pretty good.
And I just found out like last week that this artist was Kids in the Eyes artist.
Oh,
nice.
I didn't realize at the time because like I was like, man, this art looks good. And I was like, so like, oh okay, I got Kids in the Eyes artist like calendar now for 2020. But yeah, that's what I kind of lined up for. So I got what I wanted for like that part, but then I still missed out a lot of other stuff that I was going to try to get because like I can line up for one big thing, and that was the big thing I lined up for. Because like I couldn't get like two big things. It was like basically you gonna get one big thing and you can't get the other. And I chose the Kids in the Eye art, the OC art, because it was OC art. So I just was more curious for that at the time. Because the other thing I wanted to get was like a Bang Dream Dojin or something like that, like a set, like because it came with a tapestry as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted. Like, that was the third day lining up. Fourth day I was lining up for another friend to get a cosplay book. Now it was like, because I did not know how big this cosplayer was at the time. It was Liu. But from what I was told by like other friends and stuff like that she is kind of big in Japan. But the fact that she's now like going to be a voice actor for like one of the Love Live girls in one of the newest series, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, Liu. Yeah. So I did not realize that like she was going, because me not knowing that she was going to be a big guest, because like what I thought big at the time was Ellie and Enako. Like, so I knew that like I was like, I can either line up for them or I'm lining up for my friend. So like I'll line up for my friend because I thought Liu was big. And I guess she was kind of big at the time. And yeah, I managed to get her art book for that. But then of course I sacrificed Enako and like a lot of the Ellie stuff, like that got sold out by the time I got there. I actually did not bother with Enako at all because I saw that line, I'm like, nah, I give up. Don't want to even try. That was like the lineup experience, like on the days just getting to Comiket. That was like first time. I think that's what I expected. Like, because I just didn't expect to get there. Like, the waiting was like painful, but I didn't expect once you get in, it will be like once it starts like I guess going and rolling, you just not stop walking. Like, because like when you're out there waiting, it's like a lot of walking, stop, walking, stop. It's like you don't know when you're gonna get in, but every time you check the time, it's like, oh wow, it's not a lot of time has passed. I guess. So that's what's kind of like the lineup experience. Like, you guys like anything to say about your, I guess, like your start intro Comiket? Hello? Oh yeah. Cool. How about like experience wise, like did you guys like, was it like, I say after Comiket and everything like that, was that kind of what you expected, or like what was like the experience in general? In a sense.
I guess I'll cover this or cover a bit of it. It was interesting for me because at least having come from the Western conventions, I was like, oh, surely I get to see all the artists in time, and I'll be able to peruse everything. No, that was definitely not the case. You literally cannot get through every artist like without stressing and rushing around. You normally have to research your artists before, like ahead of time, and then they even give you a map on the catalog, and I stress this a lot because catalog is really important to help you plan out which artists you're seeing.
Oh yeah.
With the inclusion of a map that you can even rip off and take with you, and then you can mark and plot your route around the area.
Honestly, I was so confused of the map when I was like trying to figure out, okay, where's this person at? Because I went through Twitter to like check out what booth everyone's at, and it was like trying to go through them was like so hard because I was like, wait, who's in like South Hall? Who's in like West Hall? I was like,
Yeah, they normally like if they have Twitter on the Twitter, they normally like specify by letter or
yeah,
hiragana, katakana, and that will specify which hole it is in.
Yeah, because I have like going back on the experience of like looking for stuff. I felt like they did it. It's organized really well in the sense that like all the stuff in like, for example, the West Tour was labeled with like a alphabetical letter, and then like for the first 2 floors, and then anything like in the East Hall was then like in either hiragana or katakana.
Oh really?
So I guess if you're so I guess like if you're somewhat fluent in that, you can sort of I guess identify which things are where. And then depending on the artist as well, right? Depending on the artist, they also give you like a they'll say where they are as well as how to like also get to them as well. And like for example, if you want to like come see my stuff, like the best way to get here is like going through from this exit or like from this entryway and then following like this parking, for example.
Oh, I did not see any of that on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, that depends on the artist if they're like willing to like go to that effort.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess generally as well, like depending on what you're interested in, like say for example, because the other thing I liked about it as well is that with each, I guess, artist or I guess each day, it was sort of I felt like it was grouped into like very specific like themes for each day of Comiket.
Oh, I noticed that going like I noticed that like, after walking around for a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like with I guess other
previous Comikets and stuff.
No, that is how it is. Normally, like day 1, at least in 2016, day 1 was like a lot of just fan art books, fan creations.
I saw a lot of yaoi in day 1.
Yeah, day 2 was normally all the yaoi, yuri, more niche stuff like guns, trains, buildings, cosplayers, idols.
I know,
and then day 3 was all the age stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm pretty sure they all each day had age. But from my I guess experience when looking around, I felt like day 1 was a lot of the sort of like the shonen series, like like the mainstream series. Day 2 was a lot more focused on like the games, I guess, in terms of like like fan books from like games and stuff like that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Day 3 was, I mean, I didn't really
Idle Day, man. It was Idle Day. That was the day I loved.
From what I've heard, it's idols.
That was Idle Day. That was Idle Day. That's why I was so busy on day 3, just like going through all the idol dojins and stuff.
Well, yeah, and then day 4 was what I felt was original content.
Like basically arts and craft and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of the cosplayers. Actually, it was like there was a cosplay hall literally like for all the cosplayer like selling their books like on day 4.
Yeah, and then it's also I like about it as well. It's that like even though it's separated into that, like each section is also separated into like even within the halls themselves, it's like separated into like certain I guess games. So like for example on day 2, right? Like you had all of the bottom floor devoted just to like FGO, for example, or like the Fate series, or all the artists, and then like over on the East Hall you had like another hall pretty much dedicated to Kantai and Chip and Azure Lane and all that.
I remember that
so,
hall.
like, so like it's pretty cool how they like actually do separate each I guess circle out into like the specific areas. So even if you don't do as much research or like you do like next to no research for the artists that you want to see, if you just just generally like take a walk around, you can generally find what you're looking for pretty easily just by like looking at I guess what's nearby, right?
Yes. But like, did you like? I got lost a couple times like during like Comiket, like because I wasn't sure like, what is this an actual thing that you can only like walk in like one direction, I guess, because like you can get from one hall to the next hall in like a rotation. Like you couldn't backtrack. Was that a thing?
It's not 100% true. Like you can squeeze in here and there, but it's definitely easy to follow the flow because
Yeah.
there's always a group of people, like a line, basically going through certain areas and rotating, like you mentioned.
Yeah, because like I said, I got lost a couple of times because I was trying to figure out how to get to one place, because like then I realized like, oh wait, I already passed that place, so like then I can't go back that way because I had to go like another way, something like that. So I had to go all the way around again. Like that's what I just remember doing a lot of times. Like when I was backtracking, I had to go all the way around because
I think it was more one way if you're moving from like the east side to the south side, or like the west side to the south side, for example. Like moving between the main buildings.
Oh yeah.
But I guess like when you're actually inside the buildings, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, I guess you just go with the general flow of like the traffic, I guess.
That like what? You don't say anything else or like about like this like whole like Comiket Experience whole like the whole situation? Like enough walking space for you guys?
Going back just a little bit about like the themes of each day. Like normally, if you just check the catalog, and the catalog is split into each day, right? And then at the very front, it'll specify what themes are there.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I will walk around without a catalog, so
Yeah.
like our catalog was what, Twitter?
Like our catalog was like Twitter, but also like what we got at Melon Books.
Nah, that wasn't really a catalog.
Oh, that's catalog for corporate stuff.
That was, or if anything, that was a catalog for corporate.
Oh, they have one for those? I didn't know.
Yeah, that was more of a catalog for corporate. Finding an actual catalog for like the independent artists was hard.
That's the like you could get them from anywhere, like in any of the animates, or you can go to Tsutaya and Shibuya.
Yeah, but we were like rushed for time because I think we got our tickets pretty late.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the catalog, the artist catalog comes with the like bands for all 4 days.
Yeah,
No, we did not get that. We didn't get that. No, we didn't get that.
Yeah.
I remember I remember we got like a catalog for like one artist, that was it. But like it doesn't tell like where the artists were exactly, or thing like that.
Right.
The other thing as well, because again, I didn't really rely too much on the paper catalog, so I was just mainly looking online.
Yeah, I was looking at Twitter. I was relying on Twitter.
Twitter for like who I wanted to see, but like in terms of like I guess a general theme of catalog, like I couldn't really find the best one online as well. Like both on I guess the official Comiket website as well as like other random Japanese sites. I couldn't really find anything that looked nice or like was easy to read. So I'm like, yeah, forget it.
Yeah, just wing it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So wait, like Richard, you had a catalog that literally told you like almost where every artist is?
Well, yeah, it lists all the artists in order of where they're seated at, and then it shows like a brief, small picture of what
the circle.
So was it like it's like a big Excel sheet or something?
No, if you want to put it in the VOD later, you can search up, the Comiket catalog, and you'll get a good idea of what it looks like. If not, I can help send some pictures over for you.
Can you send me some pictures? Because I may get the wrong one. That's the thing.
Yeah, all right, no worries. Maybe I can search it up for you.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen right now. Get ready on the actual VOD, guys.
Yep. So, like, yeah, it's basically a grid of all the artists, and then even at the start of a day, it'll show on the map, like which area is split for what, like theme. Like on day one, or like, and one of the, I think it's 2 days. You can see, no, it's just 1 day because they don't have recurring themes at all. It's just all fate in like this one huge.
I definitely remember that day.
Yeah, for sure. And if anything, I guess the biggest takeaway as well was all the huge artists are along the walls of the convention.
Yes.
They're always in the big numbers, like, early letters of the alphabet or hiragana.
Double A's.
Yeah. And-
Go on, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No, you continue.
Yeah, I was just gonna add to it really because all the I guess big artists here are like along the lines or like the walls of like each of the buildings.
Basically, yeah, if they were big artists, they were on a wall.
Yeah, you had to have to, what do you call it, line up outside because the inside cannot accommodate for their lines.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, I guess something that was surprising was seeing music artists there, like indie music artists.
Oh, you saw music artists? Like indie music artists, or like labeled, like, you know?
No. I don't know if they're labeled or not, but they're indie like music artists. Like, I don't know if you guys know of them, but one of them is Sakuzio. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but he does music for Citus, the phone game.
Yeah, okay.
And that was awesome because I loved one of his songs, and then seeing him there, like, because I didn't prepare for him, I didn't even know he was at Comiket, and then I show up, I'm like, oh my god, I buy a CDs here.
Yeah.
So I just bought like a couple of them.
Yeah, because like when I was walking around as well, I think it was day 4 I was walking around. From I think one of the Origin Creation booths, like they had a lot of like music stuff out there, just tucked away into like one of the corners. I'm like, oh sweet, but I got there a bit too late, so like most of their CDs already were sold out. So I'm like, damn, I guess I'll just have a look next time.
Day 4 was just a chill day, was it for you? Wasn't it, Terry? Like you just like stopped caring that day.
I mean, there was a few circles which I wanted to visit, which I did get to, but then like that only took like what 2 hours or so, and then after that it was pretty much let's just walk around and explore.
Okay.
And again, like that's the beauty of like the original created stuff, because like you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, like that's like thinking, like going through a lot of the because like there's only so much of stuff artists you can go through Twitter, like, and like by the time like I was like there, I'm like, holy crap, this art looks good, this art looks good, this art looks good, and like I'm like, I don't even know this because I never researched you and all that.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I also mean about like having to search up all the artists there, because by the time you see a lot of art here and there, you're like, oh, that took up a good amount of time. And the thing is, despite the convention only going from like 10 or was it 10:30 to
It's like
4,
10 to 4-ish.
yeah, see, they say 4, but a good amount of the local artists literally start packing up around like 1:30, 2 p.m, 2:30, depending on if they're sold out or if they're tired or who knows what other factors. They're just pack up and gone, and I'm like, but it's not even 4 p.m. yet.
Yeah.
It's because
I mean, I feel like those are the only ones who've sold out, right? If they haven't sold out, then they stick around.
Yeah. Or they're just done for the day. They're like, that seems.
Yeah, that's true. They could also be like making rounds themselves because they probably don't get the chance otherwise.
Yeah. Because like I would imagine like that, like like they want to check out the convention themselves, something like that. So, like very different to like basically any Western Comiket, right? Completely.
I mean, it's just a complete difference. I wouldn't say different, but the scale was just too big. Because like when you compare it to like here in Australia, right? Again, the artist alley here isn't that big.
It's literally not even a fraction of
man.
what is Japan's.
If we're talking about like Melbourne like exhibition center, that is pretty much all of Comiket as like freaking artist alley. And we're like and like artist alley in like a Melbourne convention center, like in say Madfest or so, it's like only like not even a tenth of the size.
It's like a small. That's like 1/4 of the building, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like the artist alley in Comiket, it's like 2 times the corporate, for example.
Yep.
Like in terms of scale, right?
Yep. So actually, that's what I wonder. Like, is the corporate like you said, because you said in 2016 the corporate was in the same building as the basically the artist alley, right? Richard?
Yeah, it was in the west wing though, so you had to go up the escalators
Even back then, was it
where-
like very small? I say compared to the like.
Oh yeah. Comparison to the artists area, yeah, it's pretty small.
And they were in the same building.
Yeah, they were in the same building.
See,
I wonder what it's gonna be like when it comes back, because they're probably. Well, imagine if renovations finished, they're probably gonna go through the older format.
well, because they did renovations for like the Olympics, right? I think that was the reason why we couldn't enter some of the areas, because they were getting ready for Olympics. Was that it? The reason?
I mean,
Not sure.
it sounds right, but can't say.
Yeah. I think like one of the biggest like difference out of Comiket Experience, I'm not sure if this is for Japan conventions in general, was seeing cosplayers. I think like, did you see much of the cosplayers, Richard, or like yeah?
Yeah, so on 1 or 2 days, I went out to the park.
Oh, I spent
They just split up.
yeah, because the way I split my kind of like experience was like, okay, I'm gonna the start of the day I'm gonna go buy my stuff, then the rest of the day I'm just gonna see cosplayers. That's how I kind of just like split my workload, because I was like trying to vlog at the same time, and also I guess I was trying to like not just take photos, but make like a cosplay video like on the spot there. So it was annoying carrying that camera around, like while trying to like go for it. So like I'm not sure if this only applies to like Japan or like other continents in Asia, but like the etiquette that these photographers, like some of these photographers put out, like all the cosplay put up with, is like, I guess say ridiculous. It's like how you have to line up for every cosplayer just to take a photo with them. Yeah, unless you're like being a sneak and like just taking a photo like, you know, while passing by, which is...
I mean, some of the smaller ones, they didn't really have a line. You could just walk up to them and ask.
Yeah, but
I
like,
mean, it's ideal that you ask anyways.
Yeah. Like it was basically like you should ask, or like at least if you see a line, you should line up for them. So like I'm not sure if that only applies in Japan, like, or just Comiket, but do you know of any other conventions in Japan like you have to line up for the cosplayers? Or in Asia?
Not familiar with any of the other conventions. They just seem to be more art focused and then dress up on the side. I don't know, because I've never been to any of them. I've only heard about them.
Oh, okay. Like, cause like you know how when we go to conventions and we see a cosplayer, like you can just walk up to them and ask for a photo, like, or something like that.
Yeah.
And whereas Comiket, you have to like line up and stuff, and like, you know, because Japanese etiquette, like ask for them to take a photo, or they may tell you something like rude, like something different, or something like yeah, I got a couple of photos or like, I don't know, like not many time left, something like that. Because I had no idea how they were scheduling the cosplayers, like how they got their spots. I'm guessing what they did was just like first come first serve for the spot.
I think so.
Yeah, but I think that was a whole lot of different experience, like lining up for every cosplayer, man. It's like it's just like feels so different. Like when you like, cause like when you line up online just to take photos of a cosplayer, you're like there's always like these two kind of people you kind of meet in line. There's the one that's the super geared up person, and like he's like, okay, this guy's gonna take at least like probably 5 to 10 minutes with this cosplayer. It's like when I just see them, I'm just like shaking my head. I'm like, oh my god, hurry up! It's because like I can't look at every cosplayer. Like I had to actually, it's like planning to meet artists. I only can plan to look at certain cosplayers at the time. And this was just not at the park as well, because this was at the roof, the terrace, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like
cosplay garden, something like that.
It was like there was so much places to take pictures of cosplayers, and like that. So like there's that kind of photographer, or like whatever they are, videographers, big photographers, whatever. So like they take like 5 to 10 minutes to not only set up their cameras again, but like also like to take a photo, and you're just like killing everyone else in line. So I actually have no idea if there is a time limit with some cosplayers or not, or like if people know that there's a huge ass line waiting. Because because when I look at the end of everything, I rushed a lot of my video shots, a lot of my photography with the cosplayers, because I was like scared, like holy crap, I'm gonna take too long, you know. Like when I go through like all my old footage, I'm like, holy crap, this footage is only like 20 seconds long. I'm like, this is not long at all. And then every time I see a guy with like a little digital camera, like a very small like compact camera or something, I'm like, yes friend, you are not gonna take very long. I guess that was like a different experience, let's say, taking pictures of cosplayers or trying to just videography cosplayers. In fact, there was actually a lot of cosplayers that didn't like video. So like when I asked them, so I did just revert to taking just photos in the end. And even after taking photos and like trying to DM on them on like Twitter and stuff or whatever their social medias, like to ask if I can like say post their photos just for them, whatever. Like a lot of them said no or like never replied to me, even though they advertised their Twitter and stuff like that. Which was, I guess I'm not sure. I think it's like, come on. If you had the effort to like go out and like say like get your cosplay and like it's like you advertise yourself, you know, like that. It's like, let me like at least like advertise you back, you know, on Twitter. But like, yeah, some of them were like, yeah, take the photos out and stuff like that, or like don't, you know, out posting. Even though it was weird, like, cause sometimes their friends would like be okay with it, but if the one friend is not okay with it, then I have to like remove the photo, or like just never post it. So yeah, so that was like sort of cosplay like photography experience, just lining up for forever just to take so many photos. Like I don't think I got through I got through a lot of cosplayers, but there was a lot of cosplayers that didn't make the cut because, you know, other things. Like I think was there any cosplayers that like you wanted to see, Richard, like specifically, or like you were just watching, or you just like watching?
Only a few. Like I know most of them were just like random ones I came across, and then two of the bigger cosplayers that I follow were there, and those were the two I sought and found. Yeah. And unfortunately, one of them just finished their like photo shoot timing, and when I asked, she was like, "No, sorry, no photos." I'm like, "Okay." And then the other one was like, it was still, you know, prime time. It's like, okay, I'll just line up, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I had a list of people I wanted to see, but then like when I couldn't find them, I just like ended up like getting distracted by another cosplayer, like simping for someone else, and then like I just walk over there, and like I spent too much time like on them because I thought their line would be a bit faster. Then to find out like, oh wait, the person I'm looking for is literally in a line, like sort of like one or two above, right next to me, or something like that. So like I missed out on them, but for the most part, I managed to get I managed to meet a lot of the cosplayers I wanted to meet. A lot of them were very nice though. The one I did meet, yeah, Takana. Yeah, I think my favorite cosplay I met there was Takanashi Hanari. That was like the one I researched, and she was only gonna be for one day, and she was in like this really nice Riza cosplay, like in a swimsuit from Attila. So it was like Comiket winter. It was winter Comiket, and she's in a summer outfit. So I was like, God damn. I was like, damn. But also she had a very nice system that made it so easy for everyone else, because she was like straight up 5 photos only. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make these 5 photos really like look as best as I can. And that was like that kept the line like going. That's the thing. That kept the line just going. And like the fact that she let me do a video, so that was like a bonus as well. But yeah, she's also the thumbnail for my cosplay showcase video. Haha. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But like other cosplayers I saw there was like notable ones. It was Aza Miyako. Like Aza Miyako also showed up at Madfest, and like I had to tell her now, yeah, we met at Madfest as well. She didn't remember the first time, but then she remembered a little bit later. She's like, oh wait, you're the person who interviewed me. So yeah.
I wanted to be able to chat because I actually got to chat to her
nice.
at Madfest.
Yeah,
but unfortunately she was too busy, and I was like,
her lines are crazy, man. Like the 2 days she was there, both lines were crazy. Like when she was out in the terrace and also out in the like garden. Like I was actually wondering if I should have lined up for her day 2, and I did. But then looking back now, I kind of regret it because I missed out someone very important. Like the other cosplay I wanted to see was Sutao. And she was only gonna appear on day 4. And she had the shortest like photography day. She only had like the last hour or so. Because I saw her at booth, which is the story I regret a lot. Like, not asking for a selfie at the booth, which I should have done. I should have asked for a selfie at the booth. I now regret that to this day. Not being able to ask for that like selfie. I can't sleep at night, man. Not knowing that I could have asked for a selfie. Yeah.
Really haunting you there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And like, let's see. I think the other cosplayer I kind of got along with, or like kind of talked, like a Japanese cosplayer was which was like you guys is I think Ken and Mari, but and her friends or something like that. Like on the first day I missed out because they had a big ass group. They had a big ass group Roselia Bakery Roselia like group, and that place got like pretty much packed. And yeah, like I managed to like got to talk to them with like on the 3rd day and the 4th day, like at their booth even, like pretty decently. And yeah, that was like they were like not gonna like badmouth any Japanese cosplay, but they were the nicest Japanese cosplayers that I saw there, because they seemed to be like the most they like felt like the most chillest, like because every other Japanese cosplayer that seems to be there that I've like talked to were like either very nervous or very, very strict with their rules, I guess. That's what I noticed.
I mean, I feel like that's fair enough to some degree.
Yeah.
As well as, I mean, the difference between Japanese cosplayers and their systems, or basically trying to set up rules, is that it's sort of all over the place here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember this Chinese cosplayer group. They had some guy friends helping out.
Yep.
And God, it was pretty funny because the guys were just walking around. They weren't staying in one place. They were just walking around. And it was like, hey, you guys want to take a photo with her? And then they'd bring people in, take a photo, and then just like, oh, take photos here, there, and then I think they finished. And then I was like, damn, I missed it. So I actually walked up to one of the cosplayers, the Chinese cosplayers, and I was like, asked her in Chinese, hey, can I take a photo? And she's like, oh, quick before they look. And I'm like, okay.
Sneaky one in there.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah. Like they did. Yeah. Like I also I tried to get in the big circle for Enako.
Yeah.
Like I was like when I was like sitting down, is this like day 3 or day 4? I can't remember, man. Or day 2.
I think it was day 4.
Day 4.
Actually no, it might have been day 3. I think it was day 3.
Yeah. I remember like when I was like sitting down, like just resting at the park, I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, what's on my next schedule? Like I'm just sitting down, taking a rest. I'm like, oh, Eneko's coming in an hour, or something like that. Like gonna be like here now. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see where she's supposed to be. I look over to like this like was supposed to be an empty field. It's already filled up with like a lot of photographers like there. I'm like, nope, I cannot get in this. Because one, I do not have like a super zoomed in like lens, because like I'll be so far, and two, I'm so short that I cannot reach over the top of everyone else.
Yeah.
So I was
I get that.
Yeah. So,
I was kind of sad because I somehow wound up there, and I was like, "What's this huge ass circle?" And I was like, "I'm like part of it." I'm like, it's just sort of on my cosplay. I'll leave now."
shit.
And I didn't know it was him until I got home. And I was like, she posted on her Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, that was her.
Yeah, that was her. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, and I'm gonna see her walk into that circle, and I'll be satisfied enough from a distance. That's what I just did. I saw her walk in, and I was like, oh, yep, I never see her walk back out. That circle I gave up on till like an hour before like she even was there. Like it was already full, that place.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, there are so many people. I think she had hands down the most amount of people wanting to take a picture.
Yeah, she had definitely the most crowd. I guess that's what's her rep for being the #1 cosplayer in Japan.
Yeah.
Like, what is that thing you reckon? Like, do you reckon like majorities cosplayers think they're like idols or something? Should they be treated like idols? Because I feel like some of them feel like they should be treated like idols, but then some of them just like feel like they're normal people, like not idols.
I don't know. It's too varied. Like some people expect one thing and some expect the other. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
Yeah, like I got into like the couple of the circles sometimes and stuff like that. Like just like to like have that experience of just being in a circle, you know. But then like that was at most of the time it was what is it? What's the I don't coordinated it some way, but like it was planned like, okay, this is a plan of a circle, there's people actually watching you and like you can't go any closer, like that. Like some I'll go into like that kind of circles and stuff like that. But like then I didn't notice any like bad circles until I saw the ones on Twitter like later on, like the one where people like kind of like just like all like rushed in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, those, like I did not notice any of those like while I was there, but I noticed that like I didn't notice while I was like there, but I noticed that on quite a few on Twitter. Like which is like, well, it's still happening, this thing.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that myself, but it seems pretty bad online.
Oh yeah. Any favorite like cosplay that you saw there, Richard?
Yeah, Azumiyuko as well, and then I think the other big name was Hane Ame. She was cosplaying as Taiho from Azulane.
Okay.
So that was pretty neat.
Nice. I think like my favorite cosplay I saw was like, other than the ones I did see, like I went to see, the one I discovered was the Aqua and Megumin cosplayer, where it was like literally a drunk Aqua and a dead Megumin on the floor.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Like that was like that was like my favorite. That's actually my most like I think retweeted like photo on like photo series on Twitter. like
I think speaking of something funny, I didn't see it myself, but saw it online somewhere, where it was a picture of Gigantamax Meowth.
Oh yeah.
And there's a Ash and a Pikachu cosplay, but it's like a humanoid Pikachu holding a bazooka aimed at the Gigantamax Meowth, and I was like, dude, I wish I got to see that in person.
I think I saw the Meowth, but I never saw the Pikachu. I think I remember that.
It's so funny.
Yeah, that was like the one more interesting stuff I saw. Oh hey, have you seen Dumbbell? Ever seen the Dumbbell anime, Richard?
No, I haven't.
Oh, because I saw the ending song for Dumbbell, like the music video for that, it features like this really big buff black guy, like dancing, right. And I managed to saw him, but I didn't realize at the time until like it occurred to me that like this is the guy from like the Dumbbell music video, like the ending. He's like this big buff black guy, but in a Sailor Moon outfit.
Interesting.
So that was like one of the more interesting I saw.
I had an interesting run-in. I think it was on day 3. I don't remember when exactly. But what happened was, it was a foreigner actually, bold and dressed up, cosplaying as Master Roshi.
Oh yeah, I saw that guy.
That was great. I talked to him a bit, and then it was funny because he wanted to start making a move and like head on back in or head somewhere else.
Yep.
And every time he was about to move, me included, when I approached him, someone approached him. So I approached him and he had to like hold up like his melon props, though they're a bit smaller than real melons. But he had to keep like he was about to get ready to leave, and then someone would approach him for photo, and then he'd get ready to leave again, and then he gets approached again, and it was just like
because he didn't have like a line, for him. He was just like another Westerner cosplay, just kind of walking around.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah, I remember seeing him because I was in a line and I see him like walking around. I saw him get stopped a couple times while I was still waiting in line. This is like to get a picture of a cosplayer. Well, yeah, that's like the cosplay experience, like, yeah, which is like, just another thing that people should know, that if you go cosplay at Comiket, you have to like, I think, register beforehand.
I don't think you have to. I'm not sure about registering, but I do know you have to get dressed at the venue. You're not allowed to Well,
come in.
ideally, you're not supposed to go to Comiket in cosplay.
Yeah,
Whereas in Western countries, some people do that. So
people do not care if you do it in Western country. Yeah, I know. Like it was like, I know like during the morning, like you don't see any cosplay and stuff like that. But then then you see like all the people bringing suitcases and stuff. So yeah, you have to like, if you do plan on going to Comiket to like cosplay ever, you have to like get ready to dress there. Or I don't know how you're supposed to get another pass or something like that.
no, they just have like fitting rooms, or not fitting rooms. I mean like
Changing rooms.
That's it,
changing
yeah.
rooms as well as like a storage room.
Mm.
So that's something.
That's a lot of space, man. That storage room.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Dude, the place was basically like an airport. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Terry. No, we can talk about cosplay. We can't.
No, all good. I'm just sitting here. Yeah, sure, no worries.
No, come on, Terry. Like, was there anything interesting that you saw there? Like, do you want to add to that?
I'm just trying to think.
Just
back
from
on
your
it.
naked, just from the look of your eyes.
Just
Like, it's like just glance around. Like, oh yeah, it looks nice.
I mean, there was a lot of like in terms of like, I guess going back to the books, I guess like there's a lot of artists which I like didn't know the names of, but knew what their style was.
Right.
When I was just like casually browsing, so I'm like, oh yeah, cool, check it out. If they have anything, I'll buy. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I guess it's just like what any other con experience, but just on a larger scale.
Huh.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really have much else to add, really.
Okay, one of our viewers asked like, okay, besides the major artists / vendors, which obscure or indie artists you found at Comiket was memorable, interesting to you? Do you guys like? Was there any like something interesting to you that was like indie or like obscure that you found interesting?
Just trying to have a think.
Like,
Really.
yeah.
I'll go first then. I had one back in 2016. Okay, it's only in retrospect that I found interesting. Because they do like light novels as well, or small light novels. Or I don't even know what to call them because they're technically not even novels. They're like pretty short.
Yeah.
And I hadn't watched the series at the time, but since then I have now watched Mushishi. And I really wish there was more of it. And I remember seeing Mushishi light novels, like fan light novels written over there, and it was just like, damn, I kind of wish I got one or two. Being for the fact that I wish there was more, and two, I couldn't read Japanese back then, so I had no idea either. Yeah. But now it's like it's also helpful for my Japanese study.
Yeah, like when I'm thinking like the stuff that I bought or like doujins. Okay, most of the stuff. Okay, not gonna lie. Most of the doujins I bought were H doujins. Okay, I did balance it out with some very wholesome stuff, so I did get some wholesome stuff. The most obscure one I think I got was like a Bang Dream like doujin, or like I don't know what to call it, man. It was a weird ass. It was a weird ass like story and art style that I kind of like just saw. I saw like kind of just grabbed my eyes because it was like probably like one of my least favorite characters shown in like the most comedic light. I couldn't tell if it was a comedy or this was like almost borderline like trying to be ecchi as hell. Because it was like, it was, I think I showed it to Terry, it was like the one about like one of the characters trying to drink the other's piss.
What the?
Yes, but like...
I think I remember you showing me.
I saw it, cause like I read like this art style looks so weird. And like the scenario looks so obscure, like I couldn't tell, is this supposed to be a comedy? Or this is ecchi? I could not tell you because it wasn't really an ecchi at the end. And like even though the previous work the artist had was ecchi works.
Yeah.
I basically just bought it because I thought it looked janked and weird. That was it. That was probably like the most interesting thing I decided to like buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess from my end, like the thing that I didn't really come into expecting buying was the original game that one of the circles made. But I guess from the other aspect, because like if you go into the fandom of like each series, so for me, for example, with Concolor, one of the I guess all the circles that I visit for Concolor were like I guess the big names in that sense.
Mhm.
But there was a couple of, I guess, circles which weren't, I guess, really that big. One of them, I don't remember the name of one of them, but they did really, they wrote really nice books, which I've read in the past, like digitally. I'm like, oh, cool. I guess I can find a physical copy this time. And then to me, like, it's surprising, but not surprising that they're in the, I guess, the middle of the booths, like not in the popular sections, of like where their circle is situated in that sense. Because to me, I thought they would have been, I guess, popular, but I guess they weren't in that sense.
Yeah. Like I say, let's get it for like our memorable stuff, I guess, like memorable independent indie stuff. Can't really think of anything else. Like, I think me just maybe even just discovering like Mori Kaien, which was Kiss in the Eyes artist, like I guess memorable to me because it was it wasn't my first time seeing that art, but it was a recognizable art to me. That was it. And like, I started following her art a lot more now. And like, I don't regret making that purchase of the calendar. So I still use it right now, even though the year's over, because the art's still nice. Okay, moving on from like, I guess, our Comiket experience, because we got like probably 40 minutes to go. Like, any advice you would like to give to like, I guess, any future Comiket like goers, I guess? Like, I guess let's ask from our veteran Comiket goer first, Richard, who's the two-time Comiket veteran.
Honestly, it's only worth lining up early if there's some commercial merch you're interested in. Otherwise, if you've got a packed schedule for the artists, like we're talking like, you know, 10s, maybe 20 artists you're looking to visit, then definitely that's the only time I'd really line up early. In the like 2 of the days that I walked there and lined up hella early, we just sort of did it for fun as an experience, not because we actually had a whole lot to buy from. Because realistically speaking, we probably could have made all the like purchases that from the artists we liked.
Later on,
even taking just the first train out, not even like probably showing up, maybe second, third train out would have probably been fine. But yeah, know how to take the train. That's one of the big takeaways.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, how do I get to this venue? Must take train. How do I get to this train? How long does the train
for
take?
those who don't really navigate the system, well, I mean, you could just use Google Maps.
Yeah.
That honestly sets it up pretty nicely.
Google Maps in Japan is pretty good.
Yeah, it works. It works really well.
Yeah.
Like telling you.
Actually, I mean, it does now. There was a period of time where Google Maps had stopped. Like a contract with one of the map makers in Japan had broken off with Google. So there was a time where Google Maps was actually kind of broken for transport and like things in general. But have since been recontracted. So yeah, things are fine now.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, it's fine now. The only other thing I would say is just if you actually want to like optimize, just do your research beforehand, figure out where all the circles are, and I guess plan the best route for it. And I guess depending on how much you want stuff, try and prioritize, I guess, the popular stuff, because 100% they're gonna sell out. So I guess prioritize, I guess, the popular stuff. And if you have the luxury of going with a friend as well, you guys can also I guess split up in doing your shopping, and like just buy 2 copies, so one for yourself and one for your friend.
Yeah, that's definitely the easiest way to go about it if you are with anyone.
Yeah.
Can you buy 2 of the same stuff?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. You can buy up to like a couple. I don't know how many you can really buy, but yeah, you can buy.
The general limit, from my understanding, is 3, but it depends on each circle.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Because sometimes it'll be just like 1 per customer or something like that.
Yeah. But
Really?
yeah, I mean, it's worth asking, because yeah, it's what I sort of did a little bit on day 2 as well.
I think the popular ones, like the no dedicated sellout, are like 1 per customer. Because I'm pretty sure the calendar I got was 1 per customer, and like the artist I missed out was 1 per customer as well.
I mean, from my experience, some of the stuff that I got, I also got for a friend who he also gave me stuff back. So yeah.
Okay.
We both bought 2 copies each, and we just traded each other the other copies.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I think advice would be like plan beforehand, like at least knowing what you're gonna get going to go to Comiket for. Especially if you go in blind. Like I think one of my other friends who just went in completely blind, like she did not know, I think, what to do there, or like when she got there. Because like I think sometimes people think like, oh, okay, we're just going to another convention, we're just gonna walk around. Like even though you walk around, you're like you see all this stuff, like you're not knowing what you're gonna probably get in the end. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because like even like when I was just like scrounging through Twitter the night before and stuff like that, only to realize like by the time you get there, it's not only was it hard, like took a long time looking for the artist space because I was like, because Twitter only gives you the location, like only the location of the I guess the site itself, like where they're at. It doesn't exactly tell you how to get there. Most of the time they don't tell you how to get there. So not only was like trying to navigate to the artists, but also trying to plan your like route, because you can like be trying to get to one artist, but then you didn't realize you passed another artist, you know, that you were trying to get to. So like I was yeah. So that
the only thing I would say as well in terms of playing the route as well, try and like do everything in that building before, because moving between each building is like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, moving between I remember each building was a pain in the ass because I did not. Every time I got outside the building, I'm like, wait, which way do I go? Or I go this way? Am I going this way? Or I either see a big line for something, and I don't know where that line's going to. So there was so many times out when I was outside, I'm like, oh, I don't know where this line's going. I can't tell if it's going for like this hall or another hall, you know? It's like when you're trying to like get inside a different building, like, do I follow this line here just so I know how to get to the other hall? Yeah. But like, even like, I ran like the night before that we were gonna go to Comiket. I was like going through my Twitter list. I'm like screenshotting every artist or every creator that I wanted to see. I'm like, holy crap.
Actually, you make a good point as well there as well. When you're actually there, don't expect to get any internet access as well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, don't expect. I think that's like any other con though, or most cons.
Yeah, no, I mean like in Australia, right? I still have internet.
Yeah,
like,
okay, yeah.
Like it's still usable internet access. In there, like because it's just the sheer density of people.
Yeah.
It's really rough for the connection there.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're lining up for the East Wing, that was really bad. Like just in that dock area, dude, you could barely get any connection.
I screenshotted all my Twitter artists and stuff. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be here. I'm just going through my photos because I know I can't. I didn't want to risk getting through the internet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. That's good.
Yeah,
So I guess my honest biggest piece of advice is, even if you do want to just browse and you're not familiar with any of the artists, definitely buy a catalog if you make it into Japan before, or Tokyo before Comiket.
Yeah,
like even a day before.
Yeah, I'll make sure. I'm gonna try to make sure next time we can find a catalog, we will look for the catalog. Me and Terry are dumb. We didn't find a catalog for it. We had
you can go to like literally like any like bookstore in Akihabara, or like Animate, or Tsutaya, which is like another bookstore in Shibuya.
Yeah. Like we had the catalog for corporate booth only.
It is, but that's like the most known one, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we had a catalog for like corporate, and that was just for corporate. So I was able to navigate that easily. Like we were able to navigate easily, like knowing what to get. And yeah. Oh yeah, one thing I would say navigating for is what's hard is navigating for cosplayers. When a cosplayer does like tell you where they're gonna be, it's actually pretty hard to tell where they actually are going to be in a way.
I mean, one, it's a rough whereabouts
it's
because
it's
it
rough.
can be moving.
Yeah.
And two, yeah, look, there's no real like dedicated area
Yeah.
or like section base for like the park or on the roof. So you're just gonna have to go out on a limb and try and find them.
Yeah, and just hope that like, and even like even though the roof place looks kind of small, it was so hard looking for anyone because it's so crowded.
Bigger than it seems.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's bigger than it seems, but like, it's so condensed that like, it was actually super hard to find like anyone. Especially actually, but the park I say was the hardest place to find someone because even though like they specifically say what block they're on, yeah, like if they have I noticed that some cosplayers had a very zoomed up map. I'm like, this is zoom up. I need a zoom out version so I can see where exactly this is because like the zoomed up one didn't like show like green. It didn't show like I say like a big area. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
like Comiket is like get prepared kind of convention. Like plan your convention. That can't just really walk in there and be like, okay, let's go. Like apart like from like say lining up early or like if that's like lining up early is only if something like you know that like that artist or that creator is like a big time name, then I would like you try to like line up early. Like you don't even have to line up. I think like from experience like so far like if you just want one of them, you don't have to like be like say first train. I say as long as you're like in the first half I think of people of the line, I think you can get like majority of stuff that you want. I think that's coming from my experience.
Yeah, I'd say if it's popular artists, definitely I'd say take like the first or second, third train if there's stuff you're looking for.
Don't need to cap out.
It's a possibility that it still gets sold out because I remember one time lining up despite being there like relatively early, wasn't the first train or anything. Like showing up to one of the artists and it's like, yeah, their other two books are sold out, the ones that I wanted, and the third book we still got plenty. I was like, okay, I just settled for the third book then. Okay.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I feel like I only really missed out one thing from one artist and that was it. But like I managed to get the majority of the artists I want. Because I guess I was following not as big ones.
Yeah. Also, like I said, some pack up really early. So one of my friends who I was going with, the first time I went, he was looking for Shindoel, and apparently by 12 he'd already packed up and left. And I was like, what? And I was like, it can't be right. Like normally they pack up after like 1 or 2. Nah, he was gone by like 12.
Yeah. Like that's the thing about the closing time at Comiket, man. Sometimes it felt like it was longer or shorter than normal.
It's completely up to the discretion of the booth though.
Yeah, but it's also like depending on the venue. Like the venue just starts kicking people out, I think.
Oh, after 4, yeah. Not necessarily on the like every day before the last one, because on the last one that's when they really try to kick you out.
Yeah. I remember on the last one I was like, because the last day is actually an hour less. I remember.
Yeah, I think
hour
so.
Earlier. That's why
because they want to pack it up.
Yeah. That's because I was like so surprised on the last day. I was like, because this is like a day I regret a lot of like my decisions because I didn't plan my day correctly because I missed out a lot of stuff on day 4 as well. It was like, because I took too long with rest on day 4, like thinking, oh yeah, I can rest because I still got like 2 hours to find out like I only got another hour left. I'm like, holy shit. Like seeing some like even when I was like talking to like some of the artists at their booth, or their cosplayers at their booth, and then like I went to like afterwards, like I was like, oh, when are they gonna be on the floor? You know, like they were gonna be on the terrace, you know, so I could like just like say hello again and take photos, you know, and like they come in like literally in the last hour, and like you don't have an hour with them, and by the time that hour's there, like I was like there was so much other cosplay that was out there that you had to be so selective, or like you just didn't see them maybe. Yeah, that's why I kind of just noticed. Yeah, so yeah, that even the last you plan your day from like the very start to finish. I planned my day like in like how I did think of it. Like okay, day 1 was gonna be corporate stuff, like buy a lot of my corporate stuff. Then we'll go to cosplayers because day 1 there wasn't that many artists I was like interested in. Day 2 was help friend, and buy a few stuff from the artist booth because there was only a few things on day 2 I wanted, and then look at the cosplayers. Day 3 was line up very early for like idol stuff, idol dojins, idol merch and stuff like that. Look at cosplayers. Day 4 was basically just the cosplay day completely. I know I like looking at the cosplayers in Japan. They're all very high quality.
Yeah, a good amount of them.
Like a good amount of high quality.
So a really good Kingdom Hearts one. So a really good Sabo one from One Piece. Yeah, and a whole lot more.
Yeah. Like any like more advice you guys like to give to like for anyone who wants to go to Comiket, or if when there is a future Comiket?
If you have any friends to go with, definitely do so. If you've had any friends that have been there, definitely talk to them about it. Helps a lot. Otherwise, search up as much as you can. Otherwise, also, I think the last thing is if you're claustrophobic, don't go.
Oh yeah, true.
Just don't go.
Yes.
Yeah, Terry. Oh yeah. Speaking of that claustrophobic stuff, okay, expect lines similar, guys. Japan likes their Japan likes their lines. We lined up to get inside. We lined up for artists. You lined up for cosplayers. You first lined up for the bathroom even.
Yeah, pretty much. The only place on Earth where the male lines for bathrooms is like triple, if not quadruple, the amount of female waiting.
Yeah.
It's actually insane. Also, one other tip: if you don't know any Chinese or Japanese, I don't know if it applies to Korean, but basically, when you're lining up for the toilet, there will be signs held up at the end of a line. One to take a number 2 and one to take a whiz. The one for taking whiz is normally the like character for small in Chinese or chisai in Japanese.
Yep.
And oki for the one in
I see.
for the number 2. Yeah, or big.
So that was an actual thing.
That's an actual thing.
They moderated how you shit or piss.
It's just, so you don't have to try and work out the lineups, and also don't make unnecessary waste. Because, like,
I see.
My friend, he didn't know Chinese or Japanese, and I forgot to tell him. I was too tired because I rocked up early, right?
Yeah.
And by the time he came back, he was just like, "Oh, I think I waited in the wrong line."
Who'd have thought? That's the first time I hearing about this. That there was there's actually a line for different ways you had to go to the toilet. Because you imagine.
Because it's like one's the cubicle and one's just the urinal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I did not expect that because I thought everything was just a cubicle.
Nah.
No. Like if you're going to the toilets nearby, like there's a sort of like I wouldn't call it food court, but I guess it's kind of is a food court area building like further back from the entrance. And in that area they have I think it's an all cubicle toilet, so it doesn't matter too much. And inside the Comiket building, when you're lining up for the toilets, once you're allowed in, that's when the lines are all the same.
Oh yeah.
It's only when you're lining up outside for the toilets that's when
Or
you
just do your business beforehand and try to hold it.
I mean, when you're waiting for like 6 hours, it's a bit of a different story.
Yeah, but you can hold that in for another couple hours.
I don't know. I tried to. But I would highly recommend, if you have an urge, the moment you feel a little bit of the urge to go to the toilet, immediately start lining up, because I lined up when I was busting, and that was the worst like 20 minutes of my life. Like just having to try and hold it in and make sure that no matter what I do, I must keep doing my best to hold it in was It felt like an eternity.
Do you have to like hold it in while like waiting in the big waiting line?
Yeah, like because
so
I
basically,
thought I
do
could
you-
help. I
do
could
you-
hold it
do-
in,
Do
but
you like lose your like spot or something, or no?
no. So once you've lined up that early,
Yeah.
you're marked into blocks, and then
Yeah.
you just leave your belongings there.
Yeah.
Nobody
Ah.
steals shit because everyone else is watching.
Yep.
And then you just come back.
I'm assuming that
Yeah.
because you
Do
had
it
you had your friend
before.
watch your stuff, right? I think. Or no?
Pardon?
Do you have a friend watch your stuff, or do you just like literally left? Base?
You can if you're that paranoid, but
Yeah.
there was a time when me and my friend both left to chill somewhere
Yeah.
else because God, it was freezing cold.
Yep.
We chilled in that food court area that I mentioned
Yep.
because it was a bit warmer and there's no wind,
Mm-hmm.
and I sort of took a nap there instead.
Wait, so you came back and your bag was still there?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
That's a neat thing to know. Like,
I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, it's only because of the culture there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
Japan culture. You go to Macca's and I've seen people just like leave their phones or bags at the place they want to sit, and then they go order
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
And it can be even like upstairs or downstairs, and then they come back with their food after,
Mm,
and it's like
yeah.
my
Yeah.
things have not been stolen.
Yeah, that's right. I did notice that when I was like, I left my camera at the airport, and like I just found it in lost property the day after. When I-
Yeah, it's very normal.
Mm.
It's like that. Yeah,
I
that's
think it is a bit of a different story if there's no one watching, but if a lot of people are watching, yeah, your things aren't
yeah.
probably going to be
Sick.
stolen.
Okay. So basically, so you just left.
Yeah.
You just left your section, and you're like, okay, you come back. You still your bags are still in the section. And you're like, you're all good.
Yep, as long as you remember where you were,
Oh, okay.
everything is
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, because when I was lining up, I mean, this is not Comiket, but lining up for something different. People just left their drink bottles and like their other stuff there, and like even like to complete strangers, they'll just tap them on the side, like, "Hey, can you watch this?"
Oh, okay.
And then yeah,
meet there.
Oh.
Where you just like,
and then yeah, they'll just watch it, or like I didn't do it personally, but I just watched on the side. So
oh, okay.
from what I understood from their conversation, it sounded like they were strangers.
Okay.
Because they didn't like have any engagement prior. They
Mhm.
sat there in silence.
Mhm.
And then next minute it's like, oh yeah, can you watch this stuff for a bit? And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay.
They go to like the toilet or whatever, come back like 5 minutes later. It's like, thanks. And I was like, alright, cool.
Yeah. So like, any other advice you would give Terry for like, would you like to give on your end, Terry? What about like?
Nah, pretty much covered off on everything, right? Like just planning beforehand, knowing how to like navigate and read. I guess like knowing just the bare basics of what do you call it? I guess Japanese in terms of like kanji, just to know how to actually, I guess, read directions and what have you.
Yeah.
Like you can play the match the symbols game,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, like to
But,
figure out where
I guess
south and
in
west
terms
and
of,
stuff
like,
like that.
I guess in terms of like lining up, going back to I guess Richard's point, just looking out for the correct signs, because like I know with like the lines that like go all the way outside, because they section it off to make sure that you don't block off the entryways.
Mhm.
You have people holding up. You have either staff or the congoers themselves holding up like where the end of the line is, or like where the section breaks are. So
Mhm.
I guess knowing how to read that. Just to make sure you're not accidentally lining up in like the wrong section.
Mhm.
And I guess for lack of adequacy, cutting in line as well.
Oh
In
yeah.
that sense.
Don't want to cut in line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I need to give one more advice about what I forgot to give before. Like, especially for like, I think this is like for any like, I guess any vloggers or photographers in general sense. Advice like, if you are gonna shoot a cosplayer, of course, always line up for them. Always line up for them, and like it's because of etiquette wise, and it's also more polite. Don't just take shots at them. Like I did see a couple random people take shots. It may be okay here once in a while, but like they have a line for a reason. So like you should probably like line up for them to also like show your appreciation for like their work and their art. Also, what I noticed is like definitely like when you line up, they're always expecting a photo. So if you are going to shoot a video, make sure you ask beforehand, because not all of them are okay with taking videos, because most of them are all okay with taking photos. Like this is for any photographers and videographer out there. And yeah, when you are bringing your camera gear, make sure you just like, I say you pack as light as you can with your camera gear. Don't bring like everything because it is heavy work, like holding that camera around, or like, because I remember I was like, I brought the camera around, even though like I just bought a camera and like it's like this little stand. It was still a pain in the ass just to carry that around all day and like lining up with it all day. And yeah. And like that was like one thing. And like get your shots, like idea of what kind of shots you want to shoot beforehand as well. Beforehand, yeah. And I'm pretty sure you, like, as a vlogger, you can just like vlog anywhere you want, I guess, like as long as you're not like showing too much things. Or say, yeah, always get permission to like film stuff. Yeah. That's why I just say, like, for any vlogger or photographer, videographer in general who decides to go to Comiket for doing that experience, because I did that experience not only just looking for like merch, I did the photographer experience as well. Yeah. And like if you can like talk to them, like just tell them like, oh yeah, like this is like it's gonna be on here, there. Like try to get their contacts so you can like contact them after the convention, like to like send them the photos yourself. So yeah, just out of like politeness, I guess. That's like the advice I would just give to I guess like those people who are going there for that specific reason. Yeah, but other than that, there's other things. I think we covered pretty much like everything on like advice like wise we can. You reckon, guys? No, like we covered
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah. I think I like want to ask like the one more like question here. Like just want to add this one quick one here. That what will you do different next time when you get a Comiket?
It's a good question.
Like have you like thought about like if you get to go again, what you like? Cause like the stuff like you done, like what would you change? Like I think the obvious thing would be like, okay, there's a lot of things I regret like not seeing someone. I'll probably like, okay, I'll probably go see this person next time, you know, or just basically plan myself out better. Like that's it. Because
yeah,
pretty
much.
It'll be like a different time going. Like. I think I would like I think like what I did was I think I cramped too much in one day, like just like shopping and seeing cosplayers. I think I should just like completely just like decide like sit for one day I'm just gonna like okay buy stuff, sit for one day I'm just gonna see cosplayers. I think I should just separate that completely. I'm not sure if that's the thing what I should do. Oh yeah, advice I forgot to tell everyone: get water, bring yourself water. Especially because you're gonna probably be, regardless, it's gonna be sweaty. So you want something to drink.
Yep. The sheer amount of body heat generated is pretty insane. So
yeah, even for a winter Comiket, man, I was like,
it'd be pretty warm, even if it is winter.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't go in the summer, man. It would have been ass in the summer.
Would have been.
I think summer's a completely different story that I do not want to delve into.
Yeah, I don't want to experience it. Yeah. So yeah, you guys reckon? So you reckon like? So I know like the last time they had a Comiket was an online Comiket. They had I think C98 or 99. Do you reckon actual Comiket?
They called it Air. I think they called it Air Comiket.
Yeah,
okay.
Air Comiket.
Okay. So when you reckon they come back, they will be C98? Or like would they go straight to C100?
I think they'd probably continue it, yeah.
So it would be C100
I
or
mean,
C98?
it's possible they jump numbers.
Man, because it would be so sad to see Comiket 100 and it has to be online or like it's not happening.
Yeah, like the online ones are just Air Comic.
Yeah. So yeah. So anything I could like to say about Comiket or stuff? I think we can wrap up soon.
That's about it.
I think we've covered off on the majority of it, to be honest.
Yes, okay. It's like a very different con, not really anything like Western. It's more of a market artist, a big artist alley. That's it.
Yeah.
And just get prepared when you go to Comiket. Okay. So that's like, is it okay? I think we are done with like this podcast. We're like, guys, is there anything like last final words you like to say? Just like, or plug in or anything like that, or anything like you guys say. Anyone, you can say anything you want. Doesn't even have to be about Comiket. Let's start with Terry, who appears on my stream quite often, I guess, when we're playing games.
Nah, I've got nothing to add really. I'm all good here.
No wise words or wisdom or anything like that. Oh wait.
Not for today.
Oh wait,
that
wait.
I can think
Sorry,
of.
I forgot to mention this before, but there is one thing I do regret now, Terry.
What's up?
Whole life booth.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's in retrospect, right? Like, surely
I
that
mean,
would not be.
to be fair, I did know of Hololive when I was coming into Comiket, but it wasn't on my priority.
Yeah.
I
That's fair
guess
enough.
regrets and hindsight's 2020, but so was COVID. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
both
like
for 2020. So yeah,
yeah.
good joke.
It's like definitely next time I'll like if there's a whole live booth, I would definitely check it out. But I feel like the next time I check out a whole live booth, it's gonna be super packed.
Oh no, the lines were already packed.
Yeah, they were already
trust me.
packed before. Like because like
Really?
because
Yeah, when I had, because I was mildly interested, and again, I think it was during day 2 when
day 1 or 2 because that was the
one.
day we were in a corporate booth, I friend.
Yeah, it was during one of the days where I didn't have much on, so I was just walking around, walking around the different sections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did see it and was interested, and then I saw the line, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not wasting my time on that.
Yeah, I just saw the line. I'm like, yeah, VTuber's not my thing. Who knew that like I said like 6 or 8 months later I became the VTuber. Yeah, just like one quick regret, I guess. I Comiket. I wish I got into it earlier so I can buy their merch. Okay.
But that's in like any fan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Richard, any final words you'd like to say to our lovely audience of 5 viewers right now that peaked at 10 viewers, I believe?
Nice. Good question.
No wise words here.
No real wise words outside of the fact that, I mean, sure, you can be prepared for a mass crowd, but it really is something different when you witness it in person. Because my friend, like, he'd heard from his friend that it was packed, and then when he was there, it was something different. And same for me. He told me, he even showed me pictures. I even looked at videos, and then being there was a whole nother story.
You think you come prepared, but you're not. Yeah. You know, like my legs and back. Not it wasn't my legs that was like dead. Like my legs was dead, but it was my back that was dead more. I think because carrying that backpack around. And like yeah. I think that's all we have for tonight, guys. Thanks Terry and Richard for coming on to this episode, and it's great to do it with you guys because there's not a lot of people I know that or like that went to Comiket or like willing to like I say actually like tell the story. Like a lot of my friends who are con goers, I don't think have ever been to Comiket. So I think it's a very unique experience, I say, like to anyone who is interested in going. Like don't expect it like another convention. That's why I'll say it's a really complete it's experience on its own. Like
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I think one last thing I'd like to mention is I feel like even if you don't have any specified artists, I'd say bring a good amount of money because like cash in hand because they don't
cash in hand
do card. Yeah. Like I feel like that's just Japan in general. They don't a lot of places don't do card.
They don't do card. They don't have the card culture really. No way.
Yeah. And that and you know, if you see something, you don't want to be like feeling stingy. It's like, oh, should I get it or should I not? And by the time you want to, it's sold out, or you know, you don't have enough money. So that's why I will always recommend bring a good amount.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like I think like another thing I need to mention that you realize like because like a lot of the stuff the artists of this stuff is actually very cheap. Like 100, 200 yen, maybe 500 yen at best sometimes. Like
a good amount of it just really all adds up.
Yeah, it all adds up to like adds up like quickly. You just stop because like you're like, oh, here's 100, here's 200, here's 300 yen. You know, like you etc. You just keep like throwing money at them, and then suddenly you just like, oh god, I just spent $100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I just noticed. I was like, holy crap, this bag is getting heavy. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. That is it. I guess that is it for the New Weebs in Podcast episode 3 of Comiket. And I thank Terry and Richard for coming again. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Please follow me on Twitch. Please follow me on my socials. Subscribe to my YouTube, etc, etc, etc. But there's no other plugins that you guys I need to plug in for you guys for, right? I don't know, 'cause I'm not sure.
Nope. I have nothing.
How about Mr. Terry Chow at LinkedIn?
Don't actually plug that guy. He's so good.
From Sydney. Oh, that guy. I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, guys. Thanks for coming to the podcast. Thanks for watching. For those who stayed to the very end. And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Everyone say bye bye. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Wow, no one's saying bye
Bye-bye.
bye. I'm getting rejected here. And end stream.